So GTA 6 was recently revealed, and I'm just stunned at how many views and just how quickly that blew up. I mean, obviously, it was going to be the most anticipated game ever because it's been 10 years since the last Grand Theft Auto game, and I still don't understand, like, what. Well, I understand why, because of shark cards. That's pretty much the only reason why we haven't gotten a GTA game up until this point, because they were making too much money doing nothing. Just getting all the money from the microtransactions. But 70 million views in less than 2 days, that's insane. I never thought such a thing was possible. I think it's actually close to 100 million now. It just keeps getting higher and higher and higher and higher. It's insane. But yeah, I'm not gonna make a whole video like analyzing the trailer and do because everyone's doing that, and I kind of want to like not do the exact same thing that everyone else is doing. Plus, it doesn't really like the whole point of a trailer, whether we're talking about a movie or a video game, is to get people excited, and it's not necessarily indicative of the quality of the game itself. It's just a way to get people hyped up, and it works every single time. So, hey, good thing GTA 6 is coming out, long overdue. Hopefully, it doesn't take 10 more years between the release of GTA 6 and GTA 7. Who knows, it might even be longer. The way the things have been going is that it just takes much longer. Like, every time a new game comes out, it takes even longer for the next one to come out, and that's just like what's been happening like with a lot of these big companies. Rockstar Games, Bethesda, even EA has been slowing down a little bit. It seems like Activision and Ubisoft are the only ones that just keep pumping out shit every single year. But the biggest point of contention surrounding the reveal of GTA 6 is they did not announce a PC version of the game. It's just the same thing, like with Red Dead Redemption 2 and Grand Theft Auto 5 as well. I also think GTA 4 and like most of the Rockstar games actually did not get a PC release at launch. It came out like maybe a year or two later, and Red Dead Redemption 1 actually never got one at all. So this is a trend that's been going on. It's something that should not come off as a surprise because it's just Rockstar's MO is to just, put the PC platform on the back burner, focus on the console, and then go to PC. So it probably won't be until 2026 at the earliest that a PC version will release. And who knows, maybe the 2025 release of GTA 6 will get delayed. Because remember when GTA 5 was announced? It was supposed to come out in 2012. And Red Dead Redemption 2 originally was supposed to come out in 2017. So who knows, maybe it'll get delayed to 2026 and we won't get the PC version for 4 years until 2027. It's very possible. On the console side, there's a lot of PlayStation fanboys going crazy right now because they have some kind of hypothesis that the game is somehow going to be held back by the Xbox Series S. And in some way, it might, because, all the stuff that happened with Baldur's Gate 3, where Larian, the developer of the game, struggled to have any type of parity between the Series X and Series S versions to the point where they had to get rid of the local multiplayer mode, co-op split screen, because apparently the Series S couldn't handle it. I think, there's going to be some compromises that they're going to have to make in order to get the game to run on the Series S and to have it to be like the same version as the Series X and PS5 versions. Whether or not that's sustainable is, it's very questionable because Microsoft had that policy for a very long time. They wouldn't budge at all when a developer would be like, hey, like back when they had the Xbox One and the Xbox One X, where the Xbox One X was a lot more powerful than the Xbox One, at least enough where it could make a difference with a lot of these games, like PUBG, for example. Remember PUBG on the Xbox One? It looked like shit, ran like shit, should not have happened. They had the policy where, if you're not going to release the game on the original, less powerful console, then you can't have it, like, just be on the Xbox One X. We will not accept that. They had the same policy going for the Series S and the Series X, but Larian was like, sorry, but we can't do it. So Microsoft was like, fine. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta remove co-op from the Series S as long as it comes out on Series X with the co-op and they actually went back on it. So we might see a thing where GTA 6 might have some features removed from the Series S version because this looks like to be a really big and ambitious game. We're not, we don't know exactly what the game is going to be still. We know it's going to be Vice City, and we know that It seems like it's going to be a pretty big map. I could see at the very least there be like fewer locations that you can access or a lot less multiplayer content, which, you know, if you're someone that doesn't really give a shit about that, then it doesn't really matter. But there's going to be some kind of compromise. I would be surprised if everything was just all good and they didn't run to any snags due to the Series S being less powerful than the PS5 and Series X. And look, this is one of those things where, you know, I think it's great that you have a console that's cheaper and more accessible. And let me be clear, I'm not hoping that I'm right. This is not the case where, like, when I was saying that Google Stadia was going to shut down and I ended up being right, so I took a huge victory lap over that. Like, this is one of those things. I actually hope I'm wrong. I don't take any satisfaction if this turns out to be true, and everyone who got a Series S ends up actually, like, getting deceived by Microsoft and Phil Spencer about how capable this console actually is and how, you know, whether or not it actually is a true next-gen console. Like, I don't want that to happen. I really don't. Genuinely, I do not. But there are real concerns to be had, and as the generation gets later and later, it becomes more apparent, because 2025 is going to be 5 years into the generation, almost the end. I think one of those leaked Sony documents that came out a couple months ago said they plan on a 2027 release for the PS6. So it's, you know, the 10th generation is going to be right around the corner as soon as GTA 6 comes out. Just like with GTA 5, it was at the tail end of the last generation. So as time goes on, as technology advances, the discrepancies in power and performance between these consoles becomes more and more significant. Something that really wasn't that noticeable as the generation started in 2020 and 2021. By 2025 will become more of an issue. I am pretty confident about that. Baldur's Gate 3 is not going to be the only game with this problem. And it should not be controversial to say that if a certain platform can't handle the game the way it was intended to be made, and if the game existing on that platform actually causes the game to be worse for everybody, then it should not exist on that platform. PUBG should not have existed on the Xbox One. Cyberpunk should not have existed on the Xbox One and PS4. And most games these days have no business being on the Switch because the Switch just can't handle the power of modern games. So yeah, most games aren't even on the Switch anymore. Same thing if the Switch 2 just doesn't come close to the power of the PS5 and Xbox Series X, Switch 2 shouldn't have a version either. But it all really depends on what the developers want a certain game to be. If we're talking about like a racing game or like a platformer game, it's a different conversation. But with these big, ambitious open world projects, I don't know. I think in a lot of cases, it will be held back by being on these weaker, less powerful, less capable machines. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that the Xbox Series S will hold back GTA 6? And do you think that GTA 6 should get a Series S version if Rockstar decides that the ends don't justify the means? But they're going to do it anyway because the Series S has such a huge install base. It's the vast majority of the user base on Xbox this generation. They're not just going to pass that up. But just on principle alone, if the game would be better by not being on the Series S, should it just not be on the Series S? It's a question that may seem a little trivial now, but may become more of a question as the years progress. So we'll see.